public health specialist with over 20 years of experience in global health, program science, and health systems engineering. He serves as the Senior Technical Advisor for Community and Global Health at the Institute for Global Public Health, University of Manitoba, and coordinates the India site for the Global Health Training Program. Formerly Dean of Research and Innovation at the Ramaiah University, he has led major initiatives, founded the Center for Integrative Health and Wellbeing at Bengaluru, and has authored a book on integrative lifestyle and published over 100 papers. He is a recipient of the Achanta Lakshmipati Oration Award and the Community Health Champion Award. As part of the organizing committee of the conference, I now invite Dr. Jayanna to kindly deliver the welcome address. As we embark upon the inaugural session of the conference, it is my utmost privilege and honor to invite to the dais for the inaugural session our Honorable Union Minister, Ministry of AYUSH, Shri Prataprao Jadhav ji. I also have the privilege of welcoming to the dais Dr. Tanuja Nesari, Dr. Rama Jayasundar, Dr. Kashinath Samagandi, Dr. Subarna Roy, Dr. Srinath Reddy. We welcome you to the inaugural session of the conference. Thank you. And I now invite Dr. Krishnamurthy Jayanna to kindly come and deliver the welcome address for the inaugural session.
Shri Revered Daji, whom we expect to join in a few minutes. Shri Prataprao Jadhav, Honorable Minister for AYUSH, Government of India. Dr. Tanuja Nesari, Director, ITRA, Jamnagar. Dr. Kashinath Samagandi, Director, Morarji Desai, National Institute of Yoga. Dr. Rama Jayasundar, Professor, AIIMS New Delhi, representing AIIMS New Delhi on behalf of Dr. Srinivas, Director, AIIMS New Delhi. Dr. Subarna Roy, Scientist G and Director, ICMR, National Institute of Traditional Medicine, Belgavi. And our keynote speaker of today, Dr. Srinath Reddy, Founder, President, and Honorary Distinguished Professor, Public Health Foundation of India. The dignitaries of the stage, delegates, speakers, and dear students. It's indeed a great pleasure for me on behalf of Heartfulness Institute and the IHW 2025 team and collaborators to welcome you all to this serene campus at Kanha Shanti Vanam for this third International Conference on Health and Wellbeing. I would like to take these few minutes to provide a context and background to this conference. The first conference on integrative health and well-being was held here in 2022. Again, greatly encouraged by the participation of all our collaborators and participants that motivated us to take up the next conference at New Delhi in 23 in partnership with AIIMS New Delhi and All India Institute of Ayurveda at New Delhi. And this is a third hosted by Heartfulness Institute right here at Kanha Shanti Vanam. This time with a focus on cardiac health, lifestyles, and mental well-being. All of us have been hearing and discussing, and yesterday we heard from Dr. Subhash Manchanda, the growing epidemic of cardiac disease, the chronic diseases in general, lifestyle diseases in general, and particularly cardiovascular disease, which is a leading killer and emerging as a number one killer even among young and adults. Heartfulness Institute over the last 10 years has taken an approach of establishing science, or rather studying the science behind the contemplative practices inspired by revered Daji. A number of our researchers in the US, in Europe, and in India have taken up several research projects, small pilots in understanding how heartfulness practices affect health as well as well-being. That led us to start organizing this series of conferences. And this particular conference, how is it very distinct and different from the past, is the close collaborative engagement that we have had with our partners. Particularly, I should mention the great support we have received from the AYUSH ministry and the sponsorship that we have received to host this conference, showcasing and the commitment on furthering the Indian knowledge systems and the science behind it, and encouraging the whole world to accept it, adopt it, and where it's required to study it as well. AIIMS New Delhi, I think we go back to a series of our meetings. Dr. Srinivas, the director of AIIMS, was one of the first few who inspired us. Why don't we take up another conference this year? And then when we discuss in our initial meetings, let's have a focused agenda this time, targeting cardiac health, which is emerging as a big priority both globally and nationally. And Dr. Tanuja Nesari, who in the past when she was the leading All India Institute of Ayurveda, now she's taken over the directorship at ITRA, amazing collaboration, support, guidance, even exploring the sponsorship opportunities, constant guidance in putting up the application till the time we were able to access this funding. Thank you, Dr. Tanuja and her team. I should also admit, ITRA team is present here in large numbers. All their faculty and students who are here, and we are really happy to have them. I'm sure they will have a great participation and a great learning experience. In addition, several of our participating delegates and institutions, I should recount MGM University, we welcome them. And there's a group of 45 students and faculty led by Dr. Mansi Thakur, Dr. Kapil Thakur, who are here and amongst us today. It's heartening. I just want to let you know that we have received registrations of over 700 participants, about 25 institutions, including 5 AIIMS institutions as well. Over the next 2 days, dear friends, what you can expect is, I would certainly confidently say, a very highly scientific agenda. It flows through the sessions. You have researchers and scientists from the backgrounds of modern medicine, cardiology, psychology and psychiatry, Ayurveda, yoga and meditation, all coming together, take up this particular topic that you have and provide scientific basis and perspectives. In the process, we also are going to be joined by several clinicians. Already quite a few are here. Many more are going to join over the days today and tomorrow. And the whole idea being, how do we learn from this research? How do we take it forward in terms of practice in our day-to-day clinical and hospital settings? To that extent, you will hear around cardiac health, well-being, lifestyles. And toward the end, we have a very interesting session with leading public health and global health experts and policy makers as well, all deliberating how we can take these lessons and inform future policies, practice, and research. I can certainly say that the next 2 days will be very exciting, filled with a lot of lessons, learnings. In terms of abstracts that we invited, applications from faculty and students, overwhelming number of about 110 submissions, of which 30 have been brought under oral presentations. We will have several parallel tracks in the afternoon, and about 60 posters that you can find around the venue where we organize lunch. And we will have dedicated time for you to move over, study the research that has been taken up by these young faculty and young researchers. We would like you all to encourage them, guide them further, and all together, the whole idea being this conference should really help more and more of us come together, take up research in this space. Just a point on Heartfulness research. In the last 10 years, our researchers have studied various aspects of how Heartfulness practices affect health and well-being, starting with stress, burnout, sleep, epigenetic pattern, how does it change through generations, and also how does it impact intuitive abilities, observation abilities. As providers, how does it impact our own well-being and our communication with our patients and quality of care eventually. So there's a whole lot of it, even from Heartfulness side, that you can expect. And in fact, several of our researchers will be presenting their papers, including one synthesis presentation by Dr. Jayanna at the end of the day. We would like you all to not miss it. With that, I can confidently say you can expect 2 great days of learning. At the same time, we believe in Heartfulness Institute, learning never stops. We as scientists, as researchers, ever need to keep our minds open, because contemplative practices such as these, as we learned from the experts yesterday, it is so subtle. The science and the methodologies have to evolve to capture that subtlety and be able to express in the language that the modern world can understand. To that effect, it expects all of us to remain open, not be dogmatic, continue to experience, explore, and see how we can continue to further the exchange and advance of knowledge in this space. With that, welcome you all once again and have a great 2 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jayanna. One can safely say that we are all looking forward with a lot of anticipation to interesting sessions over the course of the 2 days. The Heartfulness Institute has been leading pioneer research in the area of the role of the heart in leading an integrated lifestyle. Through heart-based meditation practices at the core of daily life, Heartfulness meditation today has impacted and transformed the lives of millions of people around the world, bringing balance, harmony, health, and well-being to individuals. With Revered Daji as the silent change maker at the helm, path-breaking initiatives in yoga, meditation, and wellness have successfully been going on in the lands of Korea and Japan in the recent past. These initiatives have been transforming one life at a time. Let us now watch together a short film on this movement.
Korea seamlessly blends the past with the present. It is no wonder that more and more people in Korea are exploring heartfulness, a modern approach to an ancient meditation practice. On September 28, 2023, 31 heartfulness trainers were prepared at Kanha Shanti Vanam. And as of September 2025, 71 trainers and over 100 practitioners are practicing heartfulness together in Korea. An important landmark was reached on April 13th, 2024, when the Heartfulness Meditation Institute of Korea was inaugurated. This beautiful Heartfulness Center is regularly conducting activities and engaging with the community. The education team conducts sessions every Saturday covering topics like yoga philosophy, heartfulness training, and Q&A sessions. The Community Service Group is introducing heartfulness on a regional basis and hosting sessions in 5 regions at present, and will be expanding to other regions as well. More and more people are enthusiastically taking to meditation and yoga. Under the guidance of Daji, the Heartfulness Institute is committed to taking meditation and yoga training further in Korea. The Heartfulness Institute is also taking yoga and meditation to the land of the rising sun, Japan. At the Osaka Expo 2025 in the Bharat Pavilion, Heartfulness provided yoga training to all.
We are here at Osaka Expo 2025, a great exhibition with 158 countries and 7 international organizations exhibiting their art, culture, music and business. Heartfulness has been invited by the Ministry of AYUSH to come here and present yoga to the Japanese people and also to the international visitors who are there.
To have 10 of our yoga teachers coming from India to Osaka. They have taken 3 to 6 sessions per day, 7 days a week. So a total of 23 weeks, 16,000 people, 550 sessions. And most of the visitors were from Japan and they had never experienced yoga. So it was a huge exposure to one of the beautiful heritage of India. The hall was always full. We had to accommodate people on the stage, and we also had to take sessions outside to be able to offer yoga to everyone. And we have to thank the government of India for choosing Heartfulness for this.
And we are having participants from all age group, and we take classes according to the need of the people. And we will go through the asana first. We will give them some little bit of a pranayama. We will make them do some relaxation. We will make them do heartfulness meditation. And also we are asking them to write down how you feel before the class and after the class for a reference for them.
The response has been incredible. People after the session come to us and say that my back pain is gone, or they feel more lighter, and the stiffness they had from long has reduced. It is very rewarding to see the joy and relief on their faces after the short time with us.
We at Heartfulness Institute are humbly proud to have represented India in one of the largest international expos in Osaka, Japan. And undoubtedly, yoga is the topmost attraction in the pavilion. We would like to express our deep gratitude to Ministry of AYUSH, ITPO, Ambassador of Japan in Tokyo, and Consulate General of India in Osaka, Yoga Certification Board, MDNIY, and the Tata Group in really collaborating with us to make this event a grand success. Thank you all.
We appreciate the Honorable Minister and the Ministry of AYUSH Government of India for granting this opportunity to Heartfulness to take yoga to the international platform. We also congratulate and appreciate the efforts that have been put in by the team at Heartfulness Institute. And now it is my greatest privilege to introduce to one and all Dr. Tanuja Nesari, who is a renowned leader and educator in the field of Ayurveda, widely recognized among professionals for her contributions to research, education, and public health. She currently is serving as the director of the Institute of Research in Ayurveda and has also formerly served as the director of the All India Institute of Ayurveda, Ministry of AYUSH, New Delhi. She has held a number of significant appointments, such as the chairperson Ayurveda Subsector Skill Council under the Health Sector Skill Council, and is closely associated with national public health initiatives. I would now like to invite Dr. Tanuja Nesari to please speak to us about her experience and her insights.
Yes. Am I audible? Yeah. Very good morning. Namaskar to everyone. Honorable dignitaries on the dais, chief guest of today's inaugural function, our own Minister of AYUSH, Minister of State, who is the greatest proponent of holistic well-being, Ayurveda, very, very generous, simple yet precise, and a very dynamic in action. Honorable Minister Sir Shri Prataprao Jadhavji, we are really honored and feel blessed that you are here as not only as a chief guest but also heading the family of AYUSH and ITRA, as it is one of the collaborators of this conference. And the dignitaries on the dais, Srinath Reddy ji, then Kashinath Samagandi, Suparna Roy, and Rama Jaisundan, and dignitaries of the dais. I must remember revered Guruji Daji, who is the main man behind organizing this conference, and both the KK, that is Krishnamurthy, who is the main organizer, and KK, that is Krishna Kannan, who is also the man behind organizing team, Sanjay Sehgal ji, all the Heartfulness family. We know many of them, they are behind this organizing for last too many months. This idea came, and everyone from the Heartfulness, from Jagruti and everyone. My pranam to the entire Heartfulness family and the family members from the ITRA team, because we feel really blessed and proud that Institute of Teaching and Research under Ministry of AYUSH has been given this golden opportunity to have this conference, to be a part of the conference as a collaborator at this very heart of the Heartfulness institution. So my colleagues from ITRA, Dr. Anup Thakur, Dr. Arpan Bhatt, Hitesh, Kalpesh Panara, and we have the faculty and the large number of scholars who are also participating in the poster presentation and many other activities from pre-conference workshop. Then they were witness curtain raiser and also will be for the next 2 days. And all the faculties from AIIMS New Delhi also collaborated, and all the organizing and participating institutions, more than 25 I was told, and across the globe. This program is being live online, so there are many countries who are also witnessing the audience. Yesterday I could not get opportunity to have the physical presence, but the best curtain raiser program and the presentation of Dr. Manchandaji, revered Guru, Daji, Joff, and everyone, we had that opportunity. Even I was traveling in the car, we could witness. So I'm sure there are many audience, distinguished audience, who are also witnessing this conference. And I really thank Heartfulness Institution for organizing this and giving this opportunity. The 3rd International Conference on Health and Wellbeing. And with this year's focus is on mind-body medicine for cardiac health, lifestyle, and mental well-being. And yesterday, and we really feel proud, and it's our proud privilege for to have been included Ayurveda as one of the integral part. Yesterday, Dr. Joff and Manchanda and Revered Guru Daji were mentioning the connection of mind and the brain and the heart, cardiac health and mental well-being. Ayurveda also says that heart, Hruday, is the seat of Manas Buddhi, and the sthan of Manas, Hruday, is in the Shiras. So there is a great connection of mind, heart, and the brain. So it is a mental well-being and the cardiac well-being are the two sides of a single coin. So this is a great synergy between Ayurveda and conventional medicine. And as it is envisioned to integrate, not competition, to integrate the best practices of the all healing practices from the conventional medicine to traditional therapies and the medicine like Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, I think this conference definitely will witness, and it is the holistic well-being and for the cardiac well-being, many deliberation and the esteemed speakers, they will be delivering their presentations and the keynote addresses based on the evidence-based practices. Ayurveda is a classical now but yet contemporary, and to make it available for everyone, it should be supported with tradition, supported with the technology. Taking the directions from the Revered Guru Daji and under dynamic leadership and the direction of our Honorable Minister, Sir, and the Ministry, I am sure we will develop AI-based tools in traditional medicine and also for the well-being, where the tradition supported with the technology will be delivered to everyone's doorstep, and it will be available to everyone. Earlier it was experiential science, creating the evidence. Maybe everyone definitely will have more faith on this the science, and it is an age-old wisdom, will be definitely be available to everyone. Ayurveda is holistic, integrative. There is a care with compassion, healing touch, but it also has a separate, unique approach, because when we have the integration, then the principal theory applications are derived based on principle and theory. So I'm sure these deliberations, with this deliberation, how to integrate, how to complement the Ayurveda, the unique approach of Ayurveda, and how it can be synergized with the conventional medicine, especially in cardiac management, cardiac well-being. It is not only, it is manasa sthanam, it is pranava srotas mulasthana and rasava srotas mul. That indicates that there is a deep connection with the gut health also. When there is an indigestion, when there are various gastrointestinal diseases, that also leads to cardiac health. Metabolic diseases also leads to cardiac disorder. And stress is an integral part. So we have unique concept of Agni, Ama, Srotorod, and there is a management, also unique approach of management, including Panchakarma, Shodhan, Ayurvedic medicinal plant intervention, including Arjun, Pushkar Mool, and many other plants which are being integrated and used, not as a standalone, but as an add-on. And we also have, the Ayurveda also has the unique strength, is prevention is better than cure. The strength of Ayurveda is in prevention. So now world over, with Dean Ornish and many other programs, Abhay Bangs and many other programs, tell us about reversal of the cardiology. So this is deeply imbibed, and it is inherently imbibed in Ayurvedic principles and approach. It's preventive cardiology. And that's the great strength. We can integrate all across the world. We have Panchakarma, we have anti-inflammatory plants, antioxidants, rasayana, rejuvenation, and many other interventions which has evidence, which are evidence-based therapies, practices, and interventions. I am sure my colleagues from ITRA and all across AYUSH will have opportunity to share this first-hand experience with the audience, so that in future many research programs can be woven through Heartfulness, through Ministry of AYUSH, through AIIMS, and many other organizations in public health where we can create more evidence and many people will definitely like to have. Our Honorable Minister, under his dynamic leadership, we have many programs initiated in public because he is a man of action. So it is a Desh ka Prakruti Parikshan, Desh ka Swasthya Rakshan. And so I am sure under sir your able leadership also you have that greater inclination about creating health and wellness centers where not only conventional medicine and Ayurveda is integrated, but as you said that it is the all healing practices, including naturopathy, Ayurveda, yoga and spirituality, can be demonstrated and integrated with other healing practices so that we can deliver better than the best and value addition. I just recollect the second international conference and the one which was organized in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi AIIMS, in collaboration with All India Institute of Ayurveda 2 years back, where it was, जैसे कि मनचंदा सर ने कल कहा था कि दिल और दिमाग के लिए हमें क्या चाहिए, दवा एंड दुआ. तो दवा एंड दुआ से ही कंप्लीट इलाज होता है दिल और दिमाग का. सो इट वाज द कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन meditation and medication. So I'm sure if this is the best place where the science not only integrates with the conventional medicine and traditional medicine, but the science integrates with the modern approach, but integrates with the spirituality. इसीलिए meditation and medication, जो heartfulness of way of medication definitely will help us in integrating in our practices, and as rightly envisioned by revered Guru Daji, that we will have this training and education to our students, to our health care providers, so that they can better integrate in day-to-day healing and healthcare practices. ITRA, Institute of Teaching and Research, is an institute of national importance where education, research, healthcare and public health is integrated, and it's a unique and one of its only institution. INI, we have initiated veterinary Ayurveda under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Minister, recently with the MOU with Tara in Jamnagar. We also have the digital transformation with integration with IIT. So we are developing AI-based tools for delivery of the traditional medicine. And we also have Global Center of Traditional Medicine in our own campus. So we have the opportunity to integrate with 193 countries' traditional medicine so that we create the holistic integrated model for integration with the conventional medicine, and the strength of traditional medicine can be harnessed in the public health. So with these words, I wish all the success. And once again, we are grateful and honored to have been given this opportunity by Ministry of AYUSH and Heartfulness Institution. So we are really grateful. Lastly, I can only say that as it is said that Ministry of AYUSH has this year's theme is Ayurveda for People and Planet. So create the beautiful environment to have the beautiful environment within, outside and inside. And we see this great synergy at this pious land, where in this Heartfulness campus, we have the beautiful campus outside, and same Heartfulness family is trying to create the beautiful environment within ourselves through meditation. So I wish all the success, and let it be replicated elsewhere. ITRA is looking forward with great hopes to have this beautiful campus at Jamnagar, Heartfulness, Forest by Heartfulness, the similar beautiful environment, and we are there under the leadership of Ministry to create many, many evidences in Ayurveda for this traditional medicine and spirituality combined. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tanuja. We are grateful for your presence and your words. We are very happy and honored to have with us here at the conference the presence of Dr. Rama Jayasundar, who is the head of the Department of NMR, All India Institute of Medical Sciences and New Delhi, representing AIIMS here at the conference. She is a pioneering figure in the field of Indian biomedical MR and is an avid researcher actively engaged in disseminating knowledge on the scientific basis of Ayurveda. We thank her for her presence. And now we have a short address from Dr. M. Srinivas, who is the Director, AIIMS, New Delhi, who could not join us, unfortunately, in person at the conference, but he has a video message recorded for us. Professor M. Srinivas has been actively supporting Heartfulness Institute in conducting research into many areas. And with that research, we are able to bring to the scientific community viewpoints and areas which were hitherto unexplored in the field of medical science. Professor Srinivas has had an illustrious career with more than 3 decades of experience in various positions in the academic, administrative, and research fields. He has authored around 200 research papers and has trained thousands of undergrad and postgraduate medical students. He has a vast experience of not only the medical profession but also administration, having set up new medical colleges under the ESI Corporation, and has contributed to initiation of more than 10 new medical colleges and post-graduation and super specialty courses in 3 institutes. He has been serving as the Director of AIIMS New Delhi from the year 2022, and let us now hear a message from Dr. M. Srinivas.
Pranam, Reverend Daji. Sorry I could not make to Kanha, Hyderabad. I wish to thank the Reverend Daji for his inspiring vision in bringing together the science and spirituality through heartfulness. I also express my deepest gratitude to our esteemed dignitaries who have graced this inaugural session with their presence at Kanha. It's both an honor and a privilege to address this august gathering virtually at the 3rd International Conference on Health and Wellbeing at Kanha. I bring greetings from AIIMS New Delhi that stands at the confluence of clinical excellence, research, innovation, and public health leadership. Reverend Daji is blessing us for the spiritual component, and this year's theme, the mind, body, medicine for cardiac health, lifestyle and mental well-being, is both timely and very relevant. Today we face a growing wave of non-communicable diseases, especially heart-related conditions, which are made worse by unhealthy lifestyles and rising mental stress. Issues like high blood pressure, anxiety, obesity, burnout are no longer limited to cities or certain groups of people. We are seeing them everywhere. Yet, in this challenge lies a powerful opportunity for all of us to rethink healthcare, not as an isolated treatment, but as a continuous journey of healing. Mind-body medicine helps us to do just that. It shows us that the body and mind work together, not against each other, but together for the body. This encourages us to see the heart as not just as a machine, but as a guide, one that responds to how we feel, how do we think, and how do we live. I also recall the collaboration we have at AIIMS New Delhi with the Heartfulness Institute, which began way back in March 2023. That is formalized through an MOU between the institutions. This MOU encompasses joint initiatives in the research, training, education, particularly in the areas of stress management, cardiac rehabilitation, mental well-being, integrative health practices, etc. And this represents a strong commitment from both institutions to explore through rigorous scientific inquiry how heart-based meditation and other holistic interventions can complement modern medicine. And I'm happy to see this partnership growing, and this is being celebrated through IHW 2025 now at Kanha. We are blessed by Reverend Daji, the Heartfulness Institute, the Ministry of AYUSH, Government of India, ITRA Jamnagar, and all our colleagues and partners for organizing such a meaningful event. The session in this program will enrich our understanding of what true health means to us. At AIIMS New Delhi, we are moving from reactive treatment to proactive well-being. Our Center for Integrated Medicine and Research, the CIMR, is continuing the state-of-the-art research. Professor Gautam Sharma from the Department of Cardiology, who is also in charge of CIMR, and his team at CIMR, AIIMS New Delhi, are dedicated to the scientific validation of all this, documenting this, and delivery of holistic health care. This exemplifies AIIMS New Delhi's commitment to research and evidence-based holistic treatment. Mind-body medicine is not a soft science. It is rooted in our rigorous evidence from psychoneurocardiology, psychoneuroimmunology, etc., from the heart rate variability to the various hormonal modulation which we are aware of it. The challenge before us is to translate this evidence into scalable practice and guidelines. My humble request to all the delegates of this conference, please go beyond the academic exchange at Kanha. Let us forge the collaborations that bring together the cardiologist, counselors, data scientists, yoga therapists, hospital administrators, and community healers. All these people should come together and let us design protocols that are not clinically sound but emotionally intelligent as well. India, with its rich traditions of Ayurveda, yoga, spiritual inquiry, is uniquely positioned to lead this global movement. And AIIMS New Delhi, as a national institution, is committed to being a lighthouse, illuminating pathways that integrate ancient wisdom with modern science, systems of thinking with soulfulness. In conclusion, we should become co-creators of a new health narrative, a holistic health. May this conference be a catalyst for healing within the systems, within the communities, and within ourselves. Thank you. Jai Hind. Pranams. Pranams to Daji.
We thank Dr. Srinivas for his message for all of us. And now it is my honor to introduce Professor Dr. Kashinath Samagandi to all of us. He is the director of the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga at New Delhi. Bringing over 14 years of experience in clinical research, teaching, and academic leadership, Dr. Kashinath has previously served as the faculty at the National Institute of Ayurveda at Jaipur. He has guided numerous postgraduate and doctoral scholars, authored over 35 research papers, 6 monographs, and delivered more than 200 lectures as a keynote speaker and a resource person. He has had the opportunity to represent the Ministry of AYUSH at various international forums such as the World Health Assembly at WHO at Geneva and many more global Ayurveda and yoga events. He is a significant contributor to the global promotion and scientific validation of traditional Indian health systems. And I now invite Dr. Kashinath Samagandi to please speak to us about his ideas.
यत्रैव यत्रैव मनोमदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव तव स्वरूपं यत्रैव यत्रैव शिरोमदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव पदद्वयं च. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Minister of AYUSH, Shri Prataprao Jadhav ji, respected Director, ITRA, Professor Tanuja Nesari ji, and all the dignitaries over the dais, off the dais, and all the experts from the diversified disciplines, Ayurveda, Yoga, modern medicine, and all the delegates across the globe. First of all, I would like to congratulate Heartfulness organization for coming up with a beautiful concept in International Conference for Health and Wellness, the concept focusing on the mind-body medicine for cardiac health and wellness. And I feel privileged and honored to be a part of this inaugural session and in scientific sessions. Why I stated that, why they came up with the theme of cardiac health and well-being, as we all know that in present scenario, there is a huge escalation in non-communicable diseases. Among them, major part of all sort of global mortality is cardiac diseases. So cardiac disease, according to the WHO, it has been stated that more than 19 millions of people losing their life because of cardiac ailments, and even 1/3 of the global death is mainly because of cardiovascular diseases. And in India, data says that 1 among the 4 people are the victim of cardiovascular diseases. So this indicates what is the impact of cardiovascular diseases on global health. Modern medicine, we advanced in many ways. We advanced in diagnosis, we advanced in treatments, pharmacotherapy, we advanced in surgeries. Even after that one, still we are facing lot of challenges when it comes to the management of any kind of communicable diseases, preferably cardiovascular diseases. Why it's happening? Even after such an advancement, we are not able to manage these things. I'm unfortunate to say that now gradually the impact of these cardiovascular diseases gradually shifting towards youngsters. Many youngsters are falling sick, victim for these kind of ailments. But always we need to be optimistic. How when there was a impact of corona pandemic, even we were optimistic in that scenario. In the same way, even we should be positive in even this odd situation. Why I'm saying positive in cardiovascular diseases is that always we need to find the silver lining in this darkest area. Silver lining, what I'm saying is that 80% of the ailments of heart are all related to the lifestyle, which are modifiable variables. So we have opportunity to modify these variables and minimize the impact of cardiovascular diseases. And this is the data says that 80% of cardiac ailments are manageable and they are all lifestyle disorders. But I feel that 100% each and every ailments, what we are seeing now, whether it is a communicable, non-communicable, infectious, contagious, every disease is related to the lifestyle. Even 2 decades ago, WHO stated that in every ailment there is an involvement of the psyche, there is an involvement of the lifestyle. But I presume in Shastra, 5000 years ago it has been stated clearly, Vishama swastavrittam ete rogaha tasmad aparaha, jayante anaturaha swastavrittam paro bhavet. Vishama swastavritta is the major culprit, that is deranged lifestyle is the major culprit for all sort of ailments. So if you think this concept, if you keep this concept in your mind, then obviously we can manage each and every cardiovascular diseases. And even it has been stated in Shastra that mana eva manusyanam karana bandayo, that is mana, ultimately psychology, ultimately stress. Stress is also one of the major component for all sort of disorders. But when it comes to the managing of mind and body, ultimately we get the answers from the ancient Indian knowledge system, that is Ayurveda and Yoga. And when we, being a head of the Institute of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, so yoga, again, we are doing lots of activities related to the yoga and management of the cardiovascular diseases. And globally, we are able to see how exactly yoga is impacting and reducing the cardiovascular diseases. It is helpful in reducing the risk factor for atherosclerosis. Preferably, yoga helps to reduce the inflammation, stress, anxiety. Even it helps to reduce the LDL, triglycerides. Even research also says that yoga continuously helps to manage all the psychological disorders by reducing the stress factor, cortisol. Even it will helps to reduce the resting heart rate. It will enhance the heart rate variability. So these are some of the component research data where it says that yoga helps to manage most of the ailments. And when we say about yoga, we most of the time we limit ourselves to the practice of asanas, pranayama and meditation. No. Because yoga itself says that there should be integration of each and everything. Let me tell about the Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavad Gita itself says that there should be integration to achieve the complete wellness. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta sopna bodhasya, yogo bhautu dukkha. So there, Bhagavad Gita itself says that there should be integration within the science, between the science. Yukti purvaka ahara, yukti purvaka vihara, yukti purvaka nidra. Along with yoga, we can achieve the complete health and wellness. And it's not limited to the Bhagavad Gita. Even if you see the classical text of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Tu Vaidyakena. What exactly they want to say that? If you have any ailment related to the Chitta, you need to take the help of the yoga. If the person is suffering with any physical ailment, they need to take the help of the Ayurveda Shastra. In the same way, it's not limited to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Even in Charaka Samhita, even it has beautifully stated that Patanjali Mahabhasha Charaka Prati Samskrutam. Manovak Kaya Doshana Mahartya Ipate Nama. Again, they also says about the integration. So ultimately, if we want to achieve complete health and wellness of cardiac, there should be an integration within the science, between the science. When we integrate our ancient knowledge system with the modern science, sure we are going to achieve a lot of successful. And one thing I would like to say that, again, recently in Osaka, there was a Osaka World Expo. For Osaka World Expo, there was a request from the organizer for yoga sessions to the Indian Embassy, and Indian Embassy approached the Ministry of AYUSH, and by the direction from the Minister of AYUSH, Shri Prataprao Jadhav ji, we tied up with the Heartfulness Institute. Heartfulness Institute is a leading yoga institute under the Yoga Certification Board, and even MDNIY has a MOU with them, with this organization. With this collaboration, we started yoga at that expo. Initially, they expected one session, and what the target was that, so within 6 months we will be able to train 4,000. But fortunately, and I feel privileged to reiterate that, now they are expecting same yoga session continuously, 3 sessions per day, and we crossed more than 13,000 yoga trainers. So this has happened because of contribution given by the Heartfulness team, Heartfulness organization. So purpose of quoting this here is that because this event, International Conference on Health and Wellness, it is in the lap of Heartfulness organization. Ultimately, even they will show tremendous outcome from this event. Hopefully, I presume that each and every individual who are the part of this organization will take a positive note from this event, and even their hope, I presume, and there will be a lot of collaborations with all the different disciplines. By these short notes, once again, I would like to thank the organizer for this opportunity to be a part of this event in the inaugural session. Thank you one and all. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Doctor. We are grateful for your words and your support. I would now like to introduce Dr. Subarna Roy to all of us. Dr. Roy is an infectious diseases specialist and translational researcher, currently serving as the Director and Scientist G at the Indian Council of Medical Research, National Institute of Traditional Medicine. With a long career spanning field epidemiology, laboratory research, microbial molecular biology, and the integration of traditional and modern medicine, Dr. Roy has authored over 150 publications, filed 7 patents, and guided 14 PhD scholars. Dr. Roy's work bridges basic sciences, applied research, and health systems with a mission to advance collective health through collaboration and innovation. He serves on key scientific committees and university governing bodies, advocating for research that benefits both science and society. I now invite Dr. Subarna Roy to please share his thoughts with us.
Thank you. Respected dignitaries on the dais, respected Chief Guest, the Honorable Minister of AYUSH, Shri Prataprao Jadhav ji, who is also the Honorable Minister of State for Health, so therefore is our Minister as well from ICMR. So he is also effectively integrating systems at the highest level in the country. Respected luminaries of the field of traditional medicine, integrative health, and public health, Dr. Srinath Reddy ji, Dr. Tanuja Nesari ji, Dr. Rama Jayasundar ji, Dr. Kashinath, Samagandi ji, Dr. Krishnamurthy ji, the entire family of Heartfulness, the partner institutes, esteemed speakers, scholars, and participants. Namaskar and a very good morning to all of you. It is indeed a privilege to be here at the Kanha Shanti Vanam. It is a place which truly embodies the spirit of inner peace, the compassion, and holistic well-being. I thank Heartfulness for organizing this remarkable gathering that brings together diverse minds, scientists, clinicians, researchers, and health seekers, all united by one purpose: to advance health and well-being in the fullest sense. The concept of health has changed and it is evolving. It has gone beyond diseases to a multi-dimensional construct. The construct that the most revered Daji and others spoke about yesterday evening. The construct which encompasses the mind, body, medicine, and is shaped by an interplay of the environment, the relationships, the consciousness, and lifestyle. In this context, the integration of traditional wisdom with modern health system is not merely desirable, it is imperative. At ICMR National Institute of Traditional Medicine, we research on both the conventional and traditional medicinal aspects with the aim to integrate the best of both worlds together, but by generation of evidence that everybody understands and is acceptable to all. We work on both codified systems, which comprises of the AYUSH. We also work on non-codified systems, the folk healing, the dadima ke nuske kind of medicines that we have, the tribal health practices. What we generally do is that we follow the reverse pharmacology approach, the one practices that are found to be good either in community or in hospital settings, but which lack the evidence that the external world wants to see. We try to take them, generate a very strong documentation of how things are practiced, who are the people who are taking these treatments, how the treatments are given, what are the contents of the treatment, whether they are taking treatment from the modern side as well as from the traditional side or only one side. And then we bring them to the laboratory where we do a thorough laboratory study that comprises of pharmacognosy, the phytochemistry, the bioinformatics, the safety studies in animals, even in cell lines. Then we carry out, if it is on infectious diseases, a very strong microbiological and immunological studies. We do carry out work on molecular biology, try to understand the mechanisms of action. We try to carry out studies in simulation in computational biology today with the use of AI and other software tools, so that with the components of some of those medicines that are being used. And then we do the efficacy studies in both in vitro, in laboratory, as well as in animal studies. And then once this is completed, we take them to the field or in the community or in hospital settings, and then we do clinical research, including some of the randomized controlled trials with these interventions from traditional side, mostly in modern medicine settings. And being in ICMR, we have this advantage of having this network of laboratories across. We have very good collaborations with most of the hospitals where we want to do this work. We have model rural health research units across the country, so where we work particularly on rural health. And we take these interventions from our traditional knowledge, our traditional wisdom, to as interventions in these communities, and we test them and then try to generate this evidence. Quite a number of such studies are in progress. There are at least 5-6 randomized control trials are happening as I speak today, and most of them are in collaborative mode. And we also work very closely with the Ministry of AYUSH, not only in research and in identifying the most plausible solutions for certain ailments, but also in training and in determining guidelines as well. I'm very happy to inform that in the beginning of this year, we had made an addendum to the ICMR ethics guidelines with inclusion of a component of integrative health as well, which we carried out in collaboration with the Ministry of AYUSH as well as with the AIIMS New Delhi. I would like to use this platform to invite collaborations. My Director General, Dr. Rajiv Bhayal, always says that there are only 3 ways to do good research. First is to collaborate, second is to collaborate, and third is to collaborate. We can't do things in individual silos, and this is a wonderful forum which I wanted to make use in connecting all of us together. We are talking about connecting the mind, body, medicine. So my urge will be to connect all of ourselves so that we are able to lead integrative health in whatever way we possible, in whatever diseases we try to address. Or together we can develop a robust models also that demonstrate how traditional medicines can be complementary to the modern healthcare to improve the quality of life and contribute to universal health coverage. With this message, I wish this workshop will benefit all of us and to the people of our country as a whole. Thank you. Pranams. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Roy. Heartfulness has been at the forefront of pioneering research in many areas of traditional, modern, and integrative medicine and yoga. I now invite Dr. Krishnamurthy Jayanna and Dr. Jairam Thimapuram to please present a short glimpse into the work that has happened so far and also present a compilation of all the research that Heartfulness has been doing to our Honorable Minister of AYUSH.
Thank you, Sister Dashminder. I take few minutes to brief Minister and the dignitaries and all the delegates. A quick summary of the research work accomplished within the Heartfulness Institute, led by Dr. Jairam Thimapuram, our Director, Heartfulness Research. He lives in US, is a clinical scientist, works at York Hospital. I'd like him to briefly talk about some of the research work that we have published, and then offer a compendium of all the papers that he has in the last 10 years to Honorable Minister. Over to you, Jay.
Thank you, Krishna, and thank you all for being here. Honorable Minister, dignitaries on the dais. In 2013, I remember having a conversation with Daji, where he had suggested looking at the effects of heartfulness practices through the lens of science and see what these practices can offer. A few hearts have come together. It became many hearts coming together. And we started studying these practices, offering these practices in real-world scenarios, real-world settings. And we found that these practices help the individuals immensely. And we have taken a step forward where we conducted these studies and published them, and altogether on the NIH website we have close to around 50 publications now. Now, as an act of reverence, as an act of gratitude for the opportunity that has been granted to us to study this subtle, simple, and gentle practice of heartfulness, we have compiled all the studies together into a book, and we would love to offer a copy of this book to our Honorable Minister. In this context, I wanted to share something. All of us are aware of the polio vaccine, Sabine and Sak, who have discovered this vaccine, and they offered it free of cost to humanity, and the result is we have eradicated a disease. Heartfulness is a practice that has been offered to humanity with love, free of cost to anyone who takes the trouble of trying it out. And the results have been compiled. And with this, I would like to share that it is an immense pleasure and an honor to be a part of this great journey, and all of you here are a part of this journey too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jay and Dr. Jayanna. As heartfulness leads the world into taking a simple meditation practice to evolution of consciousness, we wish all the members of the heartfulness community the very best in many more areas of research. It is now my utmost privilege to introduce to everyone present here Dr. Srinath Reddy, Founder, President, and Honorary Distinguished Professor at the Public Health Foundation of India. He's a cardiologist and epidemiologist. He served as the former head of cardiology at AIIMS at New Delhi and has held several academic appointments at Harvard, Emory, Sydney, and Pennsylvania universities. He has served as the president of the World Heart Federation and as the co-chair of the Health Thematic Group of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. He has chaired India's high-level expert group on universal health coverage and serves on multiple WHO expert panels and advisory bodies globally. He is a member of the US National Academy of Medicine and a recipient of the WHO Director General's Award, Luther Terry Medal, Queen Elizabeth Medal for Health Promotion, and the Padma Bhushan. We are very honored to have his presence here, and I now invite him to deliver the keynote address for the inaugural session of the conference.
Esteemed Minister, other dignitaries on the dais, luminaries in the audience, the Heartfulness family, and distinguished delegates to this landmark conference. It's indeed a great honor to be here at this conference, which brings together the confluence of science and spirituality and explores the ways in which health, not only in India, but across all of humanity, can be bettered through that confluence. I was asked by the organizers to speak about heart disease in India, but to try and bring it into the context of this conference theme. So I shall begin by talking a little about heart disease in India and our own work in that context, and then try and explore a few ideas as to where the heart disease among Indians or elsewhere globally fits into the context of heartfulness and brings about the combination of science and spirituality into focus. Heart disease in Indians has certainly been growing, and that's no secret, already has been spoken of both by Dr. Manchanda as well as today. Everyday's headlines today scream about young Indians succumbing to unexpected heart attacks. But this was not always the case. When I was a medical student in the early 70s and then subsequently a postgraduate student and training in cardiology at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, rheumatic heart disease dominated the scene, and heart attacks, while not unseen, were not flooding the wards. However, internationally, there was a lot of attention at that time being paid to the excess risk of heart disease among migrant Indians. The first reports came actually from Uganda, then from Singapore and Malaya, and then elsewhere in the world, in UK, USA, Canada, Fiji, across the world. And it was noted that persons of Indian origin, or even of South Asian origin, were being struck down by early onset, extensive coronary heart disease, which could not be explained by the conventional risk factors identified in the Western populations. So this South Asian heart disease was then identified as something which was very distinctive, with common features being identified in terms of central obesity or abdominal obesity, glucose intolerance, hyperinsulinemia, that is pre-diabetes and diabetes being an excess amount, and a characteristic metabolic syndrome profile in the blood of low levels of protective high-density lipoprotein cholesterol, high levels of triglycerides, and also hyperinsulinemia. Now, this particular profile was considered to be very typical of the migrant Indians. But what was happening in India? When we looked at studies that were about to start in India and noted that not much was done in terms of risk factor identification, we led an ICMR-funded study in Delhi and Vellore, comparing the urban population of Delhi with the rural population of Haryana, and similarly urban Vellore with rural Vellore. And we found that the urban population had much higher levels of coronary heart disease and coronary risk factors, and even the conventional risk factors were high, but certainly in terms of glucose intolerance, that was also a distinctive feature along with central obesity. Then we conducted studies in 10 industrial populations across the country and found very high levels of the conventional population because these were mostly urban-centered populations. But the question was, is it a genetic factor that's distinctively marking out Indians for a high predilection of coronary heart disease? This was a postulate but never proven either in the West or in India. But interestingly, when we looked at the industrial populations in 5 cities and looked at people who had migrated to urban areas from rural areas and compared them to their rural siblings who had not moved out of their villages but shared a genetic profile, then the recent urban migrants within 5 years of migration exhibited a very high cardiovascular risk profile. Every single risk factor, from body weight to central obesity to blood cholesterol, blood pressure, and insulin levels, all of them had markedly risen in comparison with the siblings who stayed behind in rural areas. So this gave us a very clear indication that this was actually a matter of urban acculturation with changing patterns of how we were living. And of course, in all of these cases, stress would have been a factor, whether it was migrant Indians living abroad or migrant Indians moving into an urban environment and trying to eke out a living under new circumstances. But stress was not really investigated at that time because we didn't have good markers for investigating stress. So basically, it was considered that conventional risk factors mattered in Indians, but were greatly amplified by some predilection, which was not explained at that time by genetics, but we were not able to understand what exactly was the major key issue over there. But at least in terms of pure genetics, it did not appear to be the issue, because if we really looked at the way in which migrant Indians were actually being affected under adverse circumstances with urban acculturation, or rural Indians moving to cities were being adversely affected, it was clear that it was not the genes that we should be blaming. Perhaps it's the genes that we are wearing, whether we are still fitting into last year's genes or not, that we should be really looking at. But the big question here is, what exactly is responsible for this? And we have had references made to this morning, including by the director of AIIMS and others, about how the body is actually tuned both for homeostasis and allostasis by the neuroendocrine axis. Homeostasis is where the internal balance of the body is fully determined and coordinated, and allostasis is where external challenges are also met with suitable adjustments by the body's mechanisms. So we have had talks about the neuroendocrine axis, we have had talk about neuroimmunoendocrine axis, but now we are seeing a new entrant into the field, which is vastly now becoming important for consideration. That's the gut-brain axis, where the gut is an important player along with the brain and certainly the heart as well. Now, the gut is very important because gut is not only the largest immune organ in the body, housing 80% of our immune system, but also houses trillions and trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which constitute our microbiome. This microbiome is very important because these trillions of bacteria utilize the nutrients that we produce, we supply them, particularly the fiber that we ourselves don't digest, but they digest that indigestible fiber, and from that they produce a large number of nutrients, especially the saturated fatty acids, which are very helpful for the body's metabolism. But they also produce, if the wrong kind of bacteria are there populating the gut, then what we call dysbiosis, then they produce what is called a TMA oxide, which is a very toxic metabolite which produces vascular injury and causes a substantial amount of damage which harms the blood vessels, which can then lead on to heart attacks and stroke. So the question, of course, is where does this connectivity come from? The vagus nerve is one of the most important nerves, which actually is a key connector for all this. The vagus nerve supplies the gut, it supplies the heart. And therefore, when we are talking about the conversations going on between the nerve plexus in the intestines, the enteric nerve plexus, and the vagus nerve mediated through the vagus nerve back to the brain, and a two-way directional flow of instructions from the brain to the gut. There is also the heart situated in between, which is also supplied by the vagus nerve. And we know that if the blood supply is inadequate, then the gut can suffer injury to the intestinal mucosal lining, toxic metabolites can get into the bloodstream, and that can again cause inflammation all over the body and injure the blood vessels. So we see this connection here. But there is also another interesting connection, which certainly we as cardiologists have become much more aware of in recent years. In the early part, when coronary bypass surgery used to be done, and even almost even now, a heart-lung machine is utilized for taking the patient off the circulation, normal circulation, while the heart is being operated upon. This is called on-pump surgery. But the brain is dependent on pulsatile blood flow. The brain receives blood supply both during systole and diastole, both phases of the cardiac contraction. And if the heart does not have that pulsatile blood flow, there is damage to the brain tissue. And that's why many of the people who had bypass surgery for any cardiac condition, but on the pump, later on exhibited some evidence of minor cognitive defects or even major cognitive defects. So in recent years, cardiac surgery has shifted to predominantly, preferably, on-pump, off-pump surgery, not on-pump surgery, in which you are actually operating on a beating heart. So it is the pulsatile blood flow initiated by the heart that's absolutely important for the structural integrity and functionality of the brain. And yesterday, we had Deepak Chopra and others talking about the pacemaker cells of the heart also being reflected in the electrical circuitry of the brain. I would even extend that to the vascular blood flow, where the vascular blood flow patterns initiated by the pumping heart in systole and diastole are absolutely critical for the integrity of the brain. So the heart is indeed centrally positioned. And if the gut doesn't have adequate blood flow, then the intestinal lining suffers, and then toxic metabolites get in and cause vascular injury. So perhaps, indeed, as Daji says, the heart is sitting at the centrality of all the coordination of the organs. But nevertheless, what we recognize is that we cannot separate one from the other, that these are very importantly integrated, and we do recognize that each one of these is critically relevant and needs to function in perfect unison. But what is also interesting is that while we are focusing a lot on drugs, medicines, which are important, of course, the fact that stress is a very important element that undermines integrity of the brain, the heart, the gut, all of this is something that needs to be recognized, and how we deal with the stress through meditation and other practices becomes important. But let me talk a little about not just yoga and meditation, which have been spoken about considerably, but let me talk a little about diet. Because diet is also, a healthy diet is also an important part of healthy living and is an important component of what we understand as good yoga practice. Now, all of you are reading in the newspapers about these weight loss drugs, which are also supposedly protective for the heart, which are indeed protective for the heart, protective against many things, in fact, but certainly for both weight loss, cardiovascular protection, as well as control of diabetes. The GLP-1 agonists are now being propagated substantially all over the world, are being imported into India and are likely to be produced in India. You have heard of Ozempic and Wegovy. They are the multi-billion-dollar drugs, much more than even the COVID vaccines, many more fold. But where is it produced? It's not produced necessarily as an artificial chemical. It is produced by the L cells of the small intestine. It's a naturally occurring substance in the body. And how does one produce it? It is through diet-mediated vagal stimulation. And what kind of a diet? It is fruit and vegetables, green leafy vegetables, fruit, healthy vegetable oils. So what we are really talking about, a healthy diet, is already priming our body for producing this particular chemical, which actually modulates our insulin resistance, protects our blood vessels, and ensures good health and appropriate weight. So instead of sinking billions and billions, why are we not looking at natural methods of protecting ourselves against excess obesity, as well as against cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, and this is where Ayurveda comes in. Whether we want to call it Indo-Mediterranean diet or whether we want to call it the Indian diet, which is appropriate to our context, this is where Ayurveda comes in. So I think there are lessons which research can tell us and should tell us that all of these new modalities that are being sprung upon us by the West are not necessarily the best for us or even for the world, that we can produce answers because we understand the science behind it. That GLP-1 is a natural substance which is stimulated by the right kind of foods, and therefore that's the kind of food that we ought to be eating if we want to avoid diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. So I believe there's a tremendous opportunity for Indian science to advance into that area. So I would like to say that there's a tremendous amount of connectivity between the gut, the brain, and the heart, and all of these are important. The question, of course, is which plays the role of the bandmaster of this orchestra. Yesterday, Daji said the heart is perhaps the most central to all of this. Well, it could well be so. And for me, it does not matter really that much, but it's important for us to understand that all these are beautifully connected in a wonderful synchrony of effort and synergy of effect to produce the most harmonious confluence of well-coordinated bodily functions for health and well-being. But while we are pursuing this, we must pursue our scientific research in earnest, from the molecules to the markets, and see what best we can produce for health of humanity. And there, I believe science is reductionist in content, but holistic in context. And that's a lesson, again, perhaps, as Daji said, Krishna has given us. If you remember the Kurukshetra battle, Arjuna, who was a noted warrior, who, when he was being trained by Drona, could only see the eye of the bird when others saw the wings on the tree, but he could focus on the eye of the bird. But in Kurukshetra, as the battle began, he did not know what to do. So Krishna had to give him the ultimate lesson. By showing the Virat Roop or the Vishwaroop, he showed him what matters in terms of the larger context and where he must perform his specific duties. So there we understand where the context matters a lot, even if you have to perform a very focused duty. So that is where I believe we should be proceeding. As John Muir said, American naturalist John Muir said, if you tug at anything in the universe, you will find it attached to everything else. It is that connectivity that we must respect, even as we explore the minutiae of scientific research. So thank you very much. I'd like to thank the organizers for this gracious invitation. And as Simone Weil, the French social scientist, said, attention is the most precious of all gifts. So thank you very much for your gracious invitation and for your generous attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reddy, for your inspirational words and for speaking about the interconnectedness of all things. And now, it is my utmost privilege to introduce Shri Prataprao Jadhavji, our Honorable Minister and the Chief Guest of today's inaugural session. Shri Jadhav is the Union Minister of State for the Ministry of AYUSH and the Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. A senior leader from the state of Maharashtra, he represents the Buldhana constituency in the Lok Sabha. Respected Sir has held a number of distinguished positions in the Government of India as well as the Government of Maharashtra. And throughout his distinguished career, he has championed causes related to rural development, healthcare, education, and farmer welfare. He is well known for his commitment to public service and has actively promoted community health initiatives, yoga awareness, and youth empowerment programs. As the Minister of AYUSH, he is giving his best to advance India's traditional systems of medicine and integrate holistic health approaches into the national healthcare policy. It is our privilege to now invite Shri Prataprao Jadhav Ji, Honorable Minister of AYUSH, to please address all of us.
आदरणीय गुरुवर्य दाजी, प्रतिष्ठित वैज्ञानिक और शोधकर्ता, एम्स, ITRA और आयुष मंत्रालय के सहकर्मीगण, भारत और विश्व भर से आए मेरे प्रिय मित्रों, बहनों और भाइयों, आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। कान्हा शांति वनम के शांत और आध्यात्मिक वातावरण से खड़े होकर मुझे ऐसा लगता है जैसे यह स्थान स्वयं एक शिक्षक है। यह मौन, सरलता और संतुलन सिखाता है, वही गुण जो कल्याण के मूल में निहित है। आज यहाँ मुझे एकीकृत स्वास्थ्य और कल्याण पर तीसरे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सम्मेलन का उद्घाटन करते हुए अत्यंत प्रसन्नता हो रही है। यह सम्मेलन विज्ञान, अध्यात्म, अनुसंधान और चिंतन को एक साथ लाता है और मन, शरीर और हृदय को भी एक साथ लाता है। साथियों, हमने बचपन से ही देखा है कि सामान्य रूप से होने वाली बीमारियों के उपचार में प्रयुक्त औषधियाँ घरों और आसपास ही सहजता से उपलब्ध होती थी और उनके कई साइड इफेक्ट भी नहीं होते थे। कहने का मतलब है कि हमारी स्वास्थ्य परंपराएं हमें स्वस्थ रखने में पूर्ण रूपेण सक्षम है। आजकल हम देखते हैं कि मोटापा, मधुमेह, हृदय रोग, उच्च रक्तचाप, आर्थराइटिस, अनिद्रा, डिप्रेशन, एग्जाइटी, कैंसर आदि बीमारियां बहुत ही कॉमन हो गई है। ज़्यादातर इन बीमारियों की हमारी लाइफस्टाइल में परिवर्तन के कारण इस प्रकार के मनोदेहिक रोग उत्पन्न होते हैं। यदि हम मन से सकारात्मक विचारों का अनुकूलन करें तो वे अत्यंत प्रभावी औषध का काम कर रोगी को रोग मुक्त करने का काम करने लगते हैं। पारंपरिक चिकित्सा हमारे पूर्वजों के गहन विचारों तथा संवेदनाओं से उत्पन्न अमूल्य धरोहर और कल्याणकारी उपहार है। कोरोना काल में योग, प्राणायाम और ध्यान की महत्ता को भी विश्व स्तर पर स्वीकार और अंगीकार किया गया और योग की प्रभावशीलता के चलते महर्षि पतंजलि के योग दर्शन ने वैश्विक रूप धारण कर लिया है। हमारे स्वास्थ्य के लिए चिकित्सा उपचार पर्याप्त नहीं है। समदोष, समाग्नि, समधातु, सममल क्रिया और प्रसन्न आत्मा इंद्रिय मन की अवस्था के रूप में वर्णित करता है। यह शरीर, मन और आत्मा का सामंजस्य है। आधुनिक विज्ञान में भी सच्चाई को अभी समझने लगा है। भारत और विदेश के शोधकर्ता इस बात पर शोध कर रहे हैं कि ध्यान कैसे स्वायत्त तंत्रिका तंत्र को नियंत्रित कर सकता है, लचीलापन बढ़ा सकता है और बीमारियों को रोक सकता है। यह ठीक वही एकीकरण है जिसकी कल्पना हमारा देश करता है, जहां आधुनिक चिकित्सा और पारंपरिक ज्ञान एक साथ मिलकर काम करते हैं। इस सम्मेलन में एम्स, ICMR, ITRA, देश विदेश के महत्वपूर्ण चिकित्सा संस्थान से पधारे विशेषज्ञों ने संपूर्ण चिकित्सा पद्धतियों पर मंथन किया। जीवन में उन्नति के लिए मंथन बहुत आवश्यक है। मंथन का मतलब गहन विचार, तथ्यों पर विमर्श, समाधान या निष्कर्ष से भी है। हमारे पुराणों में भी समुद्र मंथन का आख्यान मिलता है, जो हमें बतलाता है कि जब कोई काम बड़ा हो तो उसकी शुरुआत में कुछ विष रूपी दिक्कतें आती है और फिर रत्न रूपी मोटी मोटी सफलताएं मिलती है और अंत में अमृत रूपी बड़ी सफलता मिलती है। समुद्र मंथन की इस कथा की एक सीख हमारे लिए न सिर्फ प्रेरणादायक है बल्कि हमें एक दिशा भी प्रदान करती है। साथियों, आयुष मंत्रालय के नेतृत्व में देश का प्रकृति परीक्षण अभियान चलाया गया। यह अभियान वात, पित्त और कफ दोषों के आयुर्वेदिक सिद्धांतों के आधार पर व्यक्ति के विशेष मस्तिष्क शारीरिक संरचना का प्रकृति की पहचान पर केंद्रित रहा। यह ज्ञान लोगों को बेहतर स्वास्थ्य और रोगी को रोकथाम के लिए जीवन शैली, आहार और व्यायाम दिनचर्या को अपनाने में सक्षम बनाता है। यह अभियान समग्र स्वास्थ्य को बढ़ावा देने, स्वस्थ समाज का निर्माण और वैश्विक स्वास्थ्य के लिए आयुर्वेद नवाचार के दृष्टिकोण को साकार करने की दिशा में महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। इस अभियान की सफलता बताती है कि लोग हमारी पारंपरिक चिकित्सा पद्धतियों के बारे में कितने जागरूक हो चुके हैं। साथियों, जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के कुशल नेतृत्व में 2047 तक विकसित भारत बनने के लिए संकल्पबद्ध है। 2047 तक भारत एक ऐसी स्वास्थ्य सेवा प्रणाली स्थापित करने की आकांक्षा रखता है जो व्यापक, सुलभ और समावेशी हो, जो अपने सभी नागरिकों के लिए स्वास्थ्य और कल्याण सुनिश्चित करे। यह दृष्टिकोण सार्वभौमिक स्वास्थ्य कवरेज प्राप्त करने, स्वास्थ्य बुनियादी ढांचे में भारी सुधार, स्वास्थ्य सेवा कार्यबल का विस्तार, डिजिटल स्वास्थ्य प्रौद्योगिकियों की एकीकृत करने और सार्वजनिक स्वास्थ्य खर्च बढ़ाने की दिशा में प्रतिबद्धता को दर्शाता है। श्री मोदी जी कहते हैं कि जब किसी गरीब को सस्ते और बेहतरीन इलाज की सुविधा मिलती है तो उसका सिस्टम में विश्वास और मजबूत हो जाता है। उन्होंने कहा कि बेहतर स्वास्थ्य सुविधाओं का अर्थ केवल बीमारियों के इलाज तक ही सीमित नहीं है बल्कि सामाजिक न्याय दिलाने का भी है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में आयुष मंत्रालय स्वास्थ्य और राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन बनाने के लिए अथक प्रयास कर रहा है। पिछले कुछ वर्ष में आयुष क्षेत्र का विकास निवारक और समग्र स्वास्थ्य के प्रति भारत की बढ़ती प्रतिबद्धता को दर्शाता है। भारतीय पारंपरिक ज्ञान दुनिया भर में मान्यता और विश्वास अर्जित कर रहा है। इस गति को बनाए रखने के लिए सरकार ने पारंपरिक ज्ञान को आधुनिक चिकित्सा देखभाल के साथ जोड़ते हुए पूरे भारत में एकीकृत आयुष अस्पताल स्थापित किए जा रहे हैं। कान्हा मेडिकल एंड रिसर्च सेंटर एकीकृत देखभाल का अभ्यास करता है। हार्टफुलनेस द्वारा वेलनेस कार्यक्रम, योग, ध्रुवता और ध्वनि चिकित्सा प्रदान करता है। यह एक दुर्लभ परिसर है जहां उपचार और अनुसंधान, आध्यात्मिकता और सेवापूर्ण सामंजस्य के साथ यह अस्तित्व में है। मैंने एक बोर्ड देखा जिस पर लिखा था, जब हृदय शांत होता है तो मन भी शांत होता है। यह सरल कथन इस सम्मेलन का सार प्रस्तुत करता है। यहाँ कान्हा में मुझे बताया गया है कि हार्टफुलनेस ध्यान का हृदय गति परिवर्तनशीलता, रक्तचाप और मानसिक शांति पर इसके प्रभाव के लिए वैज्ञानिक रूप से अध्ययन किया जा रहा है। हार्टफुलनेस जैसा शब्द से ही अलौकिक होता है कि हम सभी को अपने हृदय को, प्रकाश को जीवन के आकाश में फैलाना है। आनंद से भरपूर हमारा अस्तित्व हो और जो हमारी क्षमता को जागरूक करने का काम करता हो। वैश्विक कल्याण में भारत का नेतृत्व दुनिया सार्थकता के लिए भारत की ओर देख रही है। 2023 में भारत ने विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन के सहयोग से गुजरात में पारंपरिक चिकित्सा के लिए वैश्विक केंद्र की स्थापना का प्रस्ताव रखा है। यह अपनी तरह का एक पहला केंद्र है। इससे पता चलता है कि स्वास्थ्य के प्रति भारत का दृष्टिकोण जितना प्राचीन है उतना ही उन्नत भी है। हमारा संदेश सरल है, स्वास्थ्य कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जिसे हम तब ठीक कर सके जब वह खराब हो। यह एक ऐसी चीज है जिसे हम प्रतिदिन ध्यान, योग, भोजन, विचार और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण प्रेम के माध्यम से पोषित करते हैं। IHFW 2025 जैसे सम्मेलन मंत्रालयों, वैज्ञानिकों, आध्यात्मिक गुरुओं और भारत और विश्व के बीच साझेदारी बनाने के लिए है। मैं यहाँ उपस्थित प्रत्येक प्रतिनिधि को इस सम्मेलन से एक परिणाम प्राप्त करने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करता हूँ। यह एक संयुक्त शोध प्रस्ताव, एक नया पाठ्यक्रम मॉड्यूल, एक पायलट परियोजना या यहाँ तक कि एक जन स्वास्थ्य अभियान भी हो सकता है। कान्हा को उन विचारों का जन्मस्थान बना दे जो राष्ट्र के स्वास्थ्य को आकार दे सके। ऋग्वेद हमें बताता है आइए हम साथ साथ चले, साथ साथ बोले और हमारे मन एक मत है। एकता की यह भावना एक स्वस्थ और अधिक करुणामय भारत की ओर हमारी यात्रा का मार्गदर्शन करे। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने अपनी संपूर्ण कृतियों में कहा था, हम वही है जो हमारे विचारों ने हमें बनाया है। इसलिए इस बात का ध्यान रखें कि आप क्या सोचते हैं। आज का विज्ञान और भारत के ऋषियों द्वारा बहुत पहले कही गई बात की पुष्टि करता है कि हमारा आंतरिक संसार हमारे बाहरी स्वास्थ्य को आकार देता है। जब मैं कान्हा शांति वनम से गुजरा तो मैंने इमारतें और सुविधाएं तो देखी ही, साथ ही हरा भरा वातावरण भी देखा। मैंने सिर्फ एक कैंपस ही नहीं बल्कि अपनी एक दुनिया देखी। लेकिन सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात, मैंने स्वास्थ्य, खुशी और शांति का एक परिस्थितिक तंत्र भी यहाँ देखा। अंत में मैं गुरु दाजी और पूरी हार्टफुलनेस टीम, AIIMS, ITRA, ICMR और इस आयोजन में योगदान देने वाले अन्य सभी आयोजकों के प्रति अपनी कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करता हूँ। हमारे ऋषि सुश्रुत ने सुश्रुत संहिता में कहा था, वह चिकित्सक जो शरीर को शरीर, मन और आत्मा के मिलन के रूप में समझता है, वही वास्तव में उपचार कर सकता है। आइए इस सम्मेलन से हम न केवल अपने रोगियों की बल्कि अपने ग्रह मानवता की भी देखभाल करने की प्रेरणा लेकर जाए। इस सम्मेलन में केवल कर्म पर चर्चा नहीं हुई, अपितु पूजनीय दाजी जी के सानिध्य में संपूर्ण शिविर आध्यात्मिक शिविर के रूप में धर्म और योग पर चर्चा के लिए भी सभी प्रतिभागियों की स्मृति में अंकित रहेगा। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः की भावना को प्रमाणित करते हुए एक स्वस्थ भारत के लिए रोड मैप तैयार किया गया है। साथियों, हम सभी के आदरणीय एवं पूज्य श्री दाजी अध्यात्म, कर्म और धर्म की संपूर्ण प्रतिमूर्ति है। उनके मार्गदर्शन, जीवनचर्या, प्रकृति से प्रेम और समर्पण का अनुकरण करेंगे तो निश्चित ही हम सभी अपने लक्ष्य प्राप्ति की ओर गतिशील होंगे। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
हम श्री प्रतापराव जाधव जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं। थैंक यू सर। Health and well-being are addressed simply when we all look after our heart, not just as a pump, but as the center of our life. Revered Daji, the global guide of heartfulness, has been leading the heartfulness movement to take wellness with an all-encompassing meaning to every individual and every heart around the world. He has been unable to come for this session, but his blessings are here with us and we can feel them very much with us. We take the opportunity of this inaugural session of the conference to introduce to you Revered Daji's newest book, The Heartfulness Way, Book 2. After the resounding success of the book, The Heartfulness Way, in The Heartfulness Way, Book 2, contemplating life's great questions on the nature of reality, Daji takes us through the journey of expanding consciousness to the ultimate realization of the purpose of human life. I invite Shri Sanjay Sehgalji to please come to the dais and with our dignitaries release this path-breaking book. We thank our respected dignitaries. Essentially, The Heartfulness Way, Book 2 is a guidebook for any of us wishing to transform from our current states with all our beliefs, limitations, fears, and weaknesses in order to realize happiness, balance, and our full potential in this very lifetime. In this book, Daji has outlined the approach that is required, which is clear and practical, and mapped out the journey and given all of us the tools that we need. He has shed light on the obstacles that we may encounter on the way, as well as given us solutions to overcome them. His approach in the book is simple and experiential, and in a conversational format, it has been presented to us. He offers us the possibility of practicing a simple meditation that can be practiced by anyone with interest and willingness while living a normal family life with all our personal and professional commitments. We have all been hearing about heartfulness meditation, how simple it is, how effective it is, what it can do, what it offers to us. And we feel that this session would be incomplete if we do not have a practical experience of what heartfulness meditation is. So we now invite all our respected dignitaries on the dais and members of the audience to experience heartfulness meditation, a very short session. Thank you, Dr. Jayanna. We will have an experiential session of heartfulness, but before that, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude from Heartfulness Institute to Shri Prataprao Jadhav ji, Honorable Minister of AYUSH, and all our respected dignitaries on the dais for their presence here for the inaugural session of this conference. I invite Shri Sanjay Sehgalji and other members of the organizing committee to present a small token of our affection and gratitude to Honorable Minister and all our respected guests. It has been truly an honor to have such respected members of the medical fraternity, the Government of India, who have offered us their guiding words of inspiration, and their very presence at this event is an inspiration for all of us. And now it is time to experience heartfulness meditation. I invite Dr. Jayaram Thimapuram to please lead us through a short experiential session of heartfulness meditation. So for those of us who are new to heartfulness, let me introduce you to the simple but practical technique of heartfulness meditation. This is a meditation which is centered on the heart. So we begin with the simple supposition that the source of divine light is already present within our hearts and is attracting our attention inwards towards itself. It is a simple idea that we begin with. And with this idea, we move to thinking, to feeling and experiencing the presence of this light within the heart. Thoughts may arise, they are very natural. When we find ourselves in the middle of a train of thought, we very simply and gently bring our attention back to the heart, reminding ourselves that we are meditating on the divine light within the heart. We will begin with a short relaxation that helps us settle and move towards the heart. So let us all sit comfortably with eyes gently closed. Take a few deep breaths in and relax. With gentle breaths, let us slowly bring our attention to our feet. We invite the healing energy from Mother Earth to enter our body through the feet. As the healing energy of the earth passes through the body, it helps heal and relax every part it passes through. Let us wiggle our toes, feel them relax. Feel the presence of the energy relax the soles of the feet, the heels and ankles. Gently feel them relax. Invite the healing energy to rise upwards, relaxing the calf muscles, knees, thighs and hips. Feel the entire lower part of the body deeply relaxed. Gently bring your attention to the lower back. Feel it relax. Feel the relaxation in the upper back. The whole back is relaxed. Feel the presence of the healing energy in the abdominal area. All organs, the entire area becoming healed and relaxed. Feel the energy rise to the chest, relaxing the entire chest. Gently bring your attention to your shoulders. Feel your shoulders becoming loose and relaxed, almost melting away. Gently invite the healing energy to descend into both arms. Relaxing the upper arms. Elbows. Wrists. Palms and fingers. To the fingertips. Both the arms are now relaxed. Feel the energy rise through the neck, relaxing the neck muscles. Moving to the face. Feel the jaw becoming relaxed. Lips and tongue. Nose and ears. Feel the relaxation in the eyelids and eyebrows. The muscles of the forehead. temples, to the top of the head. The entire body from the toes to the top of the head is now relaxed. Offering gratitude to Mother Earth for her healing energy. We find our mind is settled. The body calm and still. Gently bring your awareness to the heart. The source of the divine light is already present within the heart and is attracting our attention inwards, towards itself. Feel yourself going deeper into the source of the light within the heart. Rest within the light. If you find your awareness drifting, gently bring it back to the heart and remind yourself that you are meditating on the divine light in the heart. With a feeling of prayerfulness, please start meditation. That's all. Let us continue to keep our eyes closed and remain absorbed in this condition for a few more minutes. Observe the feelings in the heart. Whenever you feel ready and complete, you may very gently open your eyes. This feeling of peace and calmness can be carried with us through the remainder of the day. All we need to do is just remember it, and it is there with us. With this, we come to the close of the inaugural session of the conference. I now invite Dr. Isha Prasad Bhagwat, convener of the conference, to come and propose the vote of thanks.
Heartfelt greetings to all. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee of the 3rd International Conference on Integrative Health and Wellbeing. First and foremost, our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Prataprao Jadhav, Honorable Minister for AYUSH, for gracing this occasion and his inspiring address and words of wisdom. Your words have beautifully highlighted the importance of blending modern medicine with traditional wisdom to achieve holistic health and healing. We also extend our sincere thanks to our guest of honors and our distinguished speakers and dignitaries for their valuable presence and encouraging words that have set the tone for the discussions ahead. Our appreciation goes to our partner organizations, institutions, sponsors, and collaborators for their very generous support, and to the organizing committee team, technical team, and volunteers whose dedication has made this event even possible. And finally, a warm thank you to all our participants and delegates from across the world for joining us in the shared journey of advancing integrative and evidence-based healthcare. With that, I once again express our deep gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of this inaugural session. Wishing you all a very fruitful and enlightening conference ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhagwat. We are very grateful for the presence of Honorable Minister of AYUSH and all our distinguished guests on the dais, all the delegates. We thank you for your presence here. There's just a short reminder to everyone. In Kanha Shanti Vanam, we have the Kanha Wellness Center, where many new wonderful initiatives are taking place for health and wellness. We invite you to visit and explore the Wellness Center and also experience Heartfulness Polarity, which is offered to you again tonight. We thank everyone for their presence here, and we close the inaugural session with this. Namaste. Dear friends and delegates, in view of the time that we have for the sessions for today, we request you to please assemble back in the auditorium in the next 10 minutes for the next session, where our respected eminent speaker is waiting to join us virtually for the session. So we invite everyone to please reassemble in the auditorium with a short break of 10 minutes alone. We request and invite you to be here in the next 10 minutes, please.